Alpen Pharmaceuticals in association with Higher Secondary Principals Forum.
Good day to one and all. I am Nagesh Kamath, grade 1 teacher, teaching in RMS High Secondary School, Madgaon, Goa. I'll be teaching you all business studies today. And in business studies, I'll be taking unit 8, and that is controlling. Before starting with my topic, let us quickly revise on those topics which we have already covered in business studies. In 12th, basically we are concentrating on the concept of management. And when we talk about management, we very well know the concept that management means the art of getting things done from others. So when you have that art of getting things done from others, what we do is management. And the person who does this particular activity is called a manager. Now, in this concept of management, we have studied different functions and all are important. We started with planning, followed by organizing, staffing, directing, and the last function which we will be dealing in detail today, and that is controlling. Planning. What is planning? Deciding in advance what is to be done in future is what is planning. Very, very simple. Getting answers to the questions like what to do, how to do, when to do is what is called planning. So in very simple words, we are deciding right now what is to be done in future. So what do? We do planning. Once planning is done in business, the next function which follows is organizing. Now this word organizing is not new to us at all. We use this word in our day-to-day life. Whenever we want to conduct a party at our house, we say we organize a party. We organize a birthday party. So what actually we do by organizing a party? See, if it is a birthday party, we need different resources, like we require food, so we require catering. We require decoration, so we require a decorator. We require some entertainment program, so we contact an event management agency and try to arrange some entertainment program. Very important is the birthday cake, so we approach the bakery. And when we bring all these things together and we conduct a party, we say that we have organized a birthday party. And if everything is done at right point of time, in a proper quality and proper quantity, people will appreciate saying that the party was organized well. So same concept we relate to the business. And when we talk about this function organizing, what do is we arrange things which are needed for the business. And what are these things? Very important. What do we need for a business is 3 types of resources: financial resources, physical resources, and human resource. We can also explain it in the form of 4 M's. Don't forget 4 M's: man, money, material, that is raw material, and machines. So when we arrange all these resources at a right point of time, in the right quantity and right quality, what do we say is we organize. And that's the function organizing. Once organizing is done, then we move on to the next function which we have studied in unit number 6, and that is staffing. Now this word staffing comes from the word staff. Staff meaning human resource. We have heard of this, human resource, HR department. meaning human resource department. Now staffing meaning arranging human resource. And human resource plays a very important role. Because human resource, the staff, the employees, the workers are the people who actually puts financial resources and physical resources into work. So if you arrange financial resources and physical resources, and if there is no staffing function, if there is no human resource, those resources, financial and physical resources, will be idle. You can't put them into work. So that's the reason why staffing plays a very, very important role. In staffing, we have seen three very important elements, the aspects or the components. And those are recruitment, selection, and training. What does you mean by this word recruitment? What do you mean by this word recruitment? Recruitment is just encouraging people to apply for a job. When you appreciate people, when you motivate people, when you encourage people to apply for a job, what do? You are recruiting them. And there are two forms of recruitment, internal source and external source. When we talk about internal source, the recruitment is done for the existing employees which are already there in the business organization. And these are in two forms. One is in the form of transfer, and second one is in the form of promotion. We very well know the difference between transfer and promotion. Transfer meaning an employee is shifted from one department to the other, or one branch to the other, or one plant to the other, with same salary, with same pay scale. That is what is transfer. Your pay scale remains the same. You are at the same position, you are at the same level. That is what is all about transfer. Whereas promotion, again the employee is shifted from one department to other, or one branch to the other, or what we can say is one plant to the other, if it is a production unit. But what happens over here is the employee is shifted at a higher level. And when it is one level higher, definitely the pay scale increases. Along with the pay scale, the responsibilities increases. You are getting some sort of authority also over there. So this is what is happening in case of promotion, to promote, right? So these are the two forms of internal recruitment, whereas external recruitment, which we have already done, are of many types. It can be direct recruitment, it can be through advertisement on newspaper, it could be advertisement on television, it could be web publishing, that is advertisement which is given online, factory gate, campus selection, or a private placement. So these are the different forms of external recruitment, right? The second concept, the second element which we have studied under staffing is selection. A very simple word with a clear meaning. Selection meaning you are selecting the most challenging person for that particular job. So how do you select? We have seen the selection process. Preliminary screening, then the candidate will answer different types of tests, maybe an intellectual test, intelligence test, aptitude test, trade test. Once you clear that test, then you will be answering an interview, that is face-to-face communication between the interviewer and the interviewee. And once you are cleared the interview, then you are selected for that particular job with minimum formalities like you have to be given an offer letter, you accept the offer letter, and your contract is signed with that particular business organization. So that is what is selection is. And the third element what we have studied under staffing, which we can't forget, and that is training. So once the staff is selected, the staff is sent for a training. What is training? Enhancing the skills. You are already having the skills, but you are getting trained. Your skill is being enhanced so that you work efficiently and effectively when you will be actually given that particular work or that particular job. So that is all about training. There could be on-job training, when you're doing job itself you are learning things, or there could be off-job training wherein you will be sent to some other premises, other location to attend workshops, seminars and so on. So that was all about the third important function of management, and that is staffing. Once staffing is done, then what follows is the very next function, and that is directing. Now this is a very important function because the actual work starts over here. Till staffing, what we are doing? We are first planning, then we are selecting, then we are organizing, and then we are selecting the people. Actual work does not start. But actual work starts at this point of time, that is this particular function, that is directing. Directing is a function wherein the superior directs the subordinate. Now what do you understand by the word directs? Directs meaning they guide, they instruct, they motivate, they communicate. And that is what is all about directing. Just like in staffing how we have learned 3 elements, also in directing we have to learn 4 different elements, and those are very simple elements related to this particular function. And these elements are basically supervision, right? Motivation, leadership, followed by communication. I'll repeat: supervision, motivation, leadership and communication are the 4 important elements of directing. Let us now start with our actual lecture for the day, and that is Unit 8, which deals with the very next function which follows directing, and that is controlling. Again, this word controlling is not new to us at all. We use this word in our day-to-day life, right? And when we connect this word to our classroom environment, right? What do we understand by the word controlling? Controlling meaning maintaining discipline in the class, isn't it? And who maintains this discipline? Either your teacher, or in the absence of teacher, it's the duty of the CR, that is class representative, or the monitor who is being elected for that particular class. Now what do you understand by maintaining discipline? That is what is the concept all about controlling. Right now we are taking online classes. We all teachers are having a certain objective, certain plans. And when we plan for ourselves, our main objective is to get 100% attendance from our students. So that is the standard which we are planning for, 100% attendance. 1 week time we teach, and then finally we scrutinize, we try to find out the attendance, and we come to know that only 50% students are attending our classes. So what is happening over here? What is happening over here? We are measuring the actual result. That is only 50%. Then what we do is, we evaluate that result, which means we try to compare the actual result with the planned result. And what was the planned result? What was the standard set? 100% attendance, which we are not getting. So there is deviation, there is difference of 50%. So this difference is to be corrected. And then what happens is, we do necessary corrections. To make necessary corrections, we need to know the reasons. So we try to find out the reasons. The reasons are very simple. Either there is no connectivity, or lack of gadgets, or finally the teacher is not creating an interest in that particular subject. So in these circumstances, what we teachers have to do? To sort out the first 2 difficulties, that is lack of network and lack of gadgets like laptop and mobile phones, we can definitely concern the authorities which can help us in providing gadgets to the student as well as network. definitely Prudent Media is doing a very great job to sort out this particular difficulties, wherein we are reaching out to the maximum students, even those students who are not having laptops, mobile phones, and those who are not having connectivity through television. That's the great initiative taken by Prudent Media in association with Principal Forum, right? So this is what is happening. We are making necessary corrections, and then finally we are trying to achieve the goals and objectives which we have decided earlier. This is what is controlling all about. So in this particular topic, I'll just introduce you. Definitely we have to connect this particular topic to the business line from the point of view of examination. So definitely we will be connecting it. In this particular topic, we'll be studying the concept which we have understood in a simple word. We'll be moving ahead with the importance, followed by controlling process, and lastly, we'll be concluding with a very important topic, that is relationship between planning and controlling. To start with the concept, we very well know the concept says the first step is measurement. Where are we? Is the question which we answer when we talk about measurement. The very next step is evaluation, where we planned. So we are comparing the actual result with the planned result, okay, and we are doing evaluation. We are finding the differences, we are finding the deviations, and when there are deviations, what do is, we do necessary correction. How can we get on track again to achieve the goals and objectives? That is what we are doing over here. So when we connect this concept of controlling to the business, again, what do? Every entrepreneur, every businessman will be setting a standard, a quality. He will be planning things. And when he had planned things, the next thing what follows is measurement, right? He will find out whether he is doing according to the plans or not, right? So he will measure the actual result. He will measure the actual results. After measuring the actual results, he will evaluate. Evaluate meaning he will compare the actual result with the planned result. He will compare the actual performance with the planned performance, that is standard which is set. And after comparing, if it is correct that planned performance is equal to the actual performance, that means controlling is going on well. But if it is not matching, then what he has to do? He has to find out the reasons for the deviations, for the differences, and finally he has to find out ways to correct those deviations and those particular differences which he is finding, and that is what is controlling all about. In simple words, what we can say is actual activities conformed with planned activities. So when you compare actual activities with planned activities, that time you come to know whether your controlling process is working or not. And if it is not up to the mark, then you are finding the reasons for the deviations and you are correcting it. That is what is controlling all about. A process of monitoring performance and taking action to ensure desired result. Monitoring performance, evaluating performance, comparing performance, actual performance with the planned performance. That is what is monitoring all about. And when there is differences, taking action to ensure desired result. Desired result meaning what was planned, what is the standard set by you, and that is what is all about controlling. In simple words again, what you can say is to keep a check on right things happen in the right ways and at a right time. So these three things should coordinate, and when these three things coordinates in a best possible manner, we say that controlling is very, very successful. These three things are right things, right ways, and right time. So as we all know the meaning of controlling in a perfect manner, we conclude that controlling is again a very, very important function for management, right? So let us go through the next topic, which is the topic all about importance of controlling. When we talk about importance of controlling, the first point which I want to make over here is controlling helps in achieving organizational goals or objectives. The controlling function measures progress towards the organizational goals and brings to light or indicates corrective action. So whenever there is deviation, whenever there is differences found between actual performance and the planned performance, what do? Is you find the corrective action. You try to find out how to correct those deviations and then try to reach out to achieve the organizational goals and objectives. That is the point all about. Controlling helps in achieving organizational goals or objectives. The very next point which states the importance of controlling is for evaluating, judging accuracy of standards. We know standards meaning quality. We know standards meaning the planned performance which we have decided in advance. A good control system enables management to verify whether the standards set are accurate or not by careful check on the changes taking place in the organizational environment. So what happens over here is there is careful check which is kept on the changes happening in the business environment. And how this check is kept? Basically, we compare the actual performance with the planned performance. So if there is deviation, definitely some wrong things are going on in between on which the check is kept, and finally those deviations are corrected. And when they are corrected, what do? Is while correcting, we judge the accuracy of standards. We compare the actual performance with the standards, and that's how we try to judge the accuracy of standards. Moving on to the third point, stating the importance of controlling, very simple. Making efficient use of resources. Aren't we doing efficient use of resources? What do you mean by efficient use of resources? Fuller utilization of resources, very simple. And what are the resources we are using in the business? As I have made a note of it, we very well know that we use physical resources, financial resources, and human resources. And controlling helps to control all these three resources. And that's the reason why it helps in making efficient use of resources, which means fuller utilization of resources. There is no wastages happening in the business environment when you set a proper control. Moving on to the fourth point, improves employees' motivation. How does controlling improves motivation? Employees' motivation. Controlling is an advanced plan wherein actual performance is compared with the planned performance, and you are finding the deviations, you are finding the differences, and you are correcting them. Don't forget it, you are correcting them by taking necessary action. So what happens over here? The employees very well know in advance what is expected from them. So when employees know in advance what is expected from them, they will give their best. They will see that there are less possible deviations and they match the actual performance with the planned performance. So that's how when the employees know in advance what is expected from them, definitely employees are motivated. A good control system ensures that employees know well in advance what they are expected to do and also the standard of performance expected from them. It motivates and helps them to give better performance, isn't it? We all have to agree this particular point. Moving on to the fifth point under controlling, importance of controlling, and that is facilitating coordination in action, which means control provides unity of direction. Every employee knows from whom to receive orders and to whom they are answerable to. There is no confusion at all. So there is unity of direction. In controlling, each department and employee is governed by predetermined standards which are well coordinated with one another. So when it is predetermined, definitely you can coordinate well, and that is what is happening under this particular point, which facilitates coordination in action. Finally, the last point which I'll have to make over here under the subtopic importance of controlling, and that is ensuring order and discipline. When we had taken example of teaching environment, definitely we had made this point. It was the first point which came to our mind. Controlling meaning maintaining discipline in the class. So same thing is repeated over here. In business environment also we have to maintain discipline, and that's the importance of controlling. Controlling maintains discipline, law and order in that particular business environment, making that particular business successful. Controlling creates an atmosphere of order and discipline in the organization by keeping a close check on the activities of its employees. So with that, we control the subtopic, importance of controlling. Moving on to the next very, very important topic, and that is process of controlling. We have understood the meaning of controlling. We very well know controlling is very important. So it is very easy for us to understand the process of controlling. When we talk about process of controlling, there are in total 5 steps which we need to know. Starting with establishing standards, that is we are planning things. Followed by measuring of performance, we are measuring the actual performance. Followed by comparing performance with standard. We are comparing the actual performance with the planned performance, that is the standard, the quality which we have set. After comparing, we analyze the deviations, those are the differences. And finally, what do? Is we take corrective action. That controlling plays a very important role in achieving goals and objectives of the firm. We take a corrective action to match the actual performance with the planned performance. Let us go through these steps in detail. Setting performance standard. Standards are the criteria against which actual performance would be measured. Very important. This standard should be achievable. I have taken a very simple example over here. We are deciding that the standard sale to be rupees 20 lakhs per annum, and we are also deciding in advance that the standard profit should be 4 lakhs. That's step 1. Next step is measuring of actual performance. What we have done actually, right? So performance should be measured in an objective and reliable manner, which includes personal observation and sample checking. So these are the 2 techniques wherein we try to measure actual performance through personal observation, we are observing personally, and sample checking. We are taking samples and we are checking them, trying to find out whether the strategy of controlling is working or not. Performance should be measured in same terms in which standard have been established. This will facilitate comparison. So we have set a standard sale and we have set standard profit. So we have to measure the actual performance taking into consideration the same criteria. So I have taken the example over here. Our business is making actual sale of 10 lakhs per annum, and our business is making actual profit of just 2 lakhs. Moving on to the third step, and that's the most important step, that is we are comparing the actual performance with the standards. We are comparing the step 2 with step 1. This step involves comparison of actual performance with the standard. Such comparison will reveal the deviation between actual and desired performance. If the performance is matching or it matches the standards, it may be assumed that everything is under control. So if it matches, if actual performance is same like planned performance which you have decided in advance, the standard which you have decided in advance, that you can say that your controlling process is very much successful and it is under control. But if it is not matching, then what happens? Then we follow with the next step. But before moving on to the next step, let me just go through the example which I have mentioned over here. When we compare actual performance with the planned performance, the standard sale which was decided was 20 lakh per annum. Whereas the actual sale, what happened in second step was just 10 lakh per annum. Standard profit which was decided in step 1 was rupees 4 lakh. Whereas actual profit which we earned in step 2 is just 2 lakhs. So what you can say is there is difference, there is deviation, right? Performance of a salesman in terms of units sold in a year can be easily measured against the standard output for the year. That is what we have done over here. So next step is step 4, analyzing deviations. So in this particular example, what we have seen, there is deviation, there is differences. We have decided to make standard sale of 20 lakhs, but what happened? Only 10 lakh sale is happening. We have decided to make 4 lakh rupees profit, but what is happening? We are making only 2 lakh profit, actual profit. So there are deviations. So we are analyzing the deviations now. The deviations from the standards are assessed and analyzed to identify the causes of deviations. Why it is happening? Very important. What are the reasons why we are finding the difference? Now, when we are finding the causes of deviations, we need to understand these two strategies. Okay, one is critical point control and another one is management by exception. Now, what is this critical point control? Key areas which needs to be attended urgently. If our previous example is taken into consideration, definitely we have to take these things urgently. Because 20 lakh sale was decided, only 10 lakh is happening. That means 50% difference, 50% deviation, which is quite a lot of difference. So definitely we have to take these things, we have to attend this type of deviations urgently under this technique, that is critical point control. Whereas the second strategy could be management by exception. Manager should not waste his time and energy in finding solutions for minor deviation. If it was just 500 difference, we had decided to make 20,000 sale in a year, and what we have made is 10,000 and excess, that is what we can say is 19,990 is the sale what is happening in this particular year. Then that minor deviation should not be taken much into consideration and we should not waste time. That is what is all about management by exception, right? So analyzing deviation is the step which we have discussed, followed by the next important step, taking corrective action. So that's the last step under controlling process, which helps us to achieve the goals and objectives of the firm. So whenever there is deviation, we find the causes of deviation and we try to correct them. So over here, the final step in controlling process is taking corrective action. No corrective action is required when the deviations are within the acceptable limits. For example, just I have told you, if you are making sale of 19,990 units, then what you had planned was 20,000 units. So that deviation is very minimum, 10. Right? So you don't have to pay much attention over it because it will happen in the business line. Such type of deviation you will definitely find in business line. So no need to waste time over there. So no corrective action is required when the deviations are within the acceptable limits. Now this acceptable limits is decided by every business and it may be differing. Okay, so it is as per the plan of that particular business, what is the acceptable limit for that particular form of business organization. But where significant deviations occur, corrective action is taken. So if there is difference, vast difference between actual performance and the planned performance and the standards what we have decided in advance, then definitely you have to take corrective actions in order to achieve the goals and objectives of the firm. So let us quickly go through the steps again, right? So these are the steps which we have studied under controlling process: establishing standards, measuring of performance, comparing the actual performance with the standard, analyzing the deviations, and finally taking corrective action. Moving on to the last subtopic for the day under the topic controlling. Again, a very important topic, relationship between planning and controlling. By now, we have already understood that there is some relationship between planning and controlling, because every time we are talking about setting a standard, which is a planning activity. Every time we are comparing actual result with the planned result. So we are again and again concentrating on the word planning. So definitely there is a connection between these two functions. there is a relationship between these two functions, and that is planning and controlling. So definitely we conclude that there is a relationship between planning and controlling, right? So what is the relationship? Point 1 says planning and controlling are interrelated and interdependent function. We all have to agree to this particular point. Yes, planning and controlling are interrelated and interdependent functions. Planning lay down standards while controlling compares actual performance with planned performance. Thus, planning provides base for controlling, right? So plans are laid down first, and at the time of controlling function, what do? We compare the actual performance with the planned performance. So planning provides base for controlling. The base is the planned result, the planned performance, the standard which is set. The second point which relates planning with controlling is planning and controlling are basically an intellectual processes. Great thinkers do this performance, do this particular function, that is planning and controlling, because it is an intellectual process. It involves thinking, it involves brain, right? So planning discovers appropriate course of action for achieving objectives, right? So what does planning do? Planning decides in advance what is to be done in future, so discovers appropriate course of action for achieving objectives. Whereas controlling, on the other hand, checks whether decisions has been translated into desired action. So over here, what do? We check whether decisions has been translated into desired action. So both ways, brains are coming in picture, and that's the reason why planning and controlling are basically an intellectual processes, right? Last point for the day under the topic relationship between planning and controlling is that planning and controlling are forward and backward looking functions. Both are forward looking and backward looking functions. How? Let us go through those points. Planning involves forecasting and preparing futuristic plan by using past experience. So forecasting meaning over here backward looking. You do the forecast on your past experiences. You are forecasting and preparing futuristic plan on the experiences which you have collected by doing forecasting by using past experience, right? So that is what is planning all about, and that's the reason why planning is backward looking, because it is forecasting, and also forward looking because it is planning for the future depending upon the past experience. What happens under controlling? We say controlling is also backward looking and also forward looking. Why backward looking? Controlling involves postmortem of past activities. We try to do postmortem of past activities. We try to find out the differences in present activities and past activities. And finally, what do? We try to improve our future performance. And that's the reason why controlling is futuristic, controlling is forward looking. So this is the point which is again an important point when we relate the function planning with controlling, and the point is planning and controlling both are forward looking as well as backward looking functions. In today's topic, what we have done is we have learned the last function of management, that is unit 8, and the function is controlling. We very well know that the controlling is a process of monitoring performance and taking actions to ensure desired results. The three words which we concentrate over here is checking on the right things happen in a right way at a right time. So when all these three things coordinate, what do we say is controlling is successful. We have seen the importance of controlling. The points which we have discussed are: controlling helps in achieving organizational goals, for evaluating, judging accuracy of standards, that is quality, which is planned in advance, making efficient use of resources, fuller utilization of resources. And which resources we are talking about? Physical resource, financial resource, and human resource. There are no wastages. Improves employees' motivation. We are talking about motivating employees in a way wherein employees know in advance what is expected from them. Facilitating coordination in action, which means unity of direction. And finally, ensuring order and discipline in the business environment. The next topic which we have discussed is process of controlling. Very simple. It is having in total 5 steps. We started with establishing standards, followed by measuring of performance, then comparing actual performance with the standards. If there is differences, then we analyze the differences, we analyze the deviations, and finally we take corrective action in order to achieve the goals and objectives of that particular business organization. And the last topic which we concluded with was process of controlling. After process of controlling, the last topic which we concluded with was the relationship between planning and controlling, right? Under this topic, we have done with 3 different points, which gives us a clear idea that planning and controlling are interrelated to each other. The point 1 which we had discussed is planning and controlling are interrelated and interdependent function. The second point which followed was planning and controlling are basically intellectual processes. Okay, you require thinking. And finally, the last point, which was a very important point and a very simple point, planning and controlling both are forward looking as well as backward looking functions. With that, I'll conclude my today's lecture. Thank you, students, for watching Prudent and gaining maximum knowledge for this particular subject as well as in other subjects which the teachers are taking lectures through this particular medium of television and trying to spread out maximum knowledge we can and to reach out to each and every student in Goa. Thank you so much. All the best.
Prudent Scholars, powered by Lupin Pharmaceuticals.
अब आपकी सुरक्षा आपके हाथों में। ल्यूपी सेफ हैंड सैनिटाइजर, आपका और चेन्नई सुपर किंग्स का फर्स्ट लाइन ऑफ डिफेंस। अब आपकी सुरक्षा आपके हाथों में। ल्यूपी सेफ हैंड सैनिटाइजर, आपका और चेन्नई सुपर किंग्स का फर्स्ट लाइन ऑफ डिफेंस। अब आपकी सुरक्षा आपके हाथों में। ल्यूपी सेफ हैंड सैनिटाइजर, आपका और चेन्नई सुपर किंग्स का फर्स्ट लाइन ऑफ डिफेंस।